Good morning, ladies, Mystery Report crew. I figured since it's so hard for us to get together because of our hectic schedules, maybe a quick tutorial on how to do it might be easier for all of us. Believe me, I'm a novice at this, so just bear with me. First of all, I'm going to start with the supplies. You need a handy ruler. I'm sure everyone has that. This is the trim, the red trim that we will use. One spool should cover a pair of flip-flops. You may have extra ribbon left depending on the size of the shoe. I've noticed that for the size 1-2 shoes, I pre-cut my ribbon for each flip-flop. Typically around 28 inches per flip-flop covers it plenty. For a smaller shoe, like the child medium, take off about 2 inches, so putting it right around 26. And then I'm about to attempt a larger shoe, a size 3 to 5, so I'm gonna bump it up to probably 30. We'll see how that works. So that's the first thing. Like I said, this trim, the red trim, is what we use to wrap the entire flip-flop. One spool will cover both. Then this is the decorative trim, black and silver chevron print. I use this just to create the small bow effect for each flip-flop. I think it might be easier if I pre-cut them all, so that's what I'm in the process of doing. For the larger bow, that's the first one that you glue down, that is going to be right around 7 inches, and then I'm gonna cut the smaller piece, which should be about, I'm assuming, 5. Like I said, I'll send those home in a baggie per flip-flop. This trim, I'm also gonna pre-cut. This is just what I use to wrap around the chevron bow once it's hot glued together to create a little middle portion. And then, of course, you need the handy, I use these little tiny fabric scissors. It's easy to cut. They make it more precise and less shredding for the ribbon. And then you've got your lucky initial pins. The right one is where you would place the letter initial on the flip-flop. And then on the left flip-flop, you would place the megaphone pin. This once again is going to be pinned onto the ribbon and then hot glued for extra adhesive force. Finally, you've got to have a little bit of this to help you get through this process. I know it's not fun, but once you see the results, you'll be so proud of yourself. And then of course you need your handy glue gun with lots of glue sticks. I've only had like 2 burns on this, so I'm doing pretty good so far. And so that is all you really need for your supplies. Oh, and then 2 little rhinestones. I will send home these as well, but that goes on the letter of the pen once you are finished with your result, just to add a little bling. So bear with me, but we'll start this. I am going to take, I'm only going to do 1 flip-flop, and once we're done, you would just repeat it like I said onto the other one. The only difference being is that you would be applying the megaphone to the left versus a letter on the right, okay? So here we go. The quickest thing that I've noticed is that, like I said, I'm going to measure. I think on this one, I'm gonna do, I say maybe about 30. That's 12. 24. Let's try this. Before cutting it, just to make sure, I go ahead and I do a sample run. So what you do is you start on the toe of the flip-flop, and you take the ribbon and you bring it through, and you just try to see, based on the length of this plastic part, if you think it would cover it. So I try to go ahead and make it even. That looks like it's going to be more than sufficient. So just to do a quick run, once you do that, you would loop it 1 time to cover the thong part of the flip-flop. Then you bring it back around, and once you bring it around, you've got your 2 pieces. You come under it with the textured side that is going to become over the top, and you place it there. This is where you would first do the first amount of hot glue so that you could secure the ribbon. But then I'm just gonna make sure that this, since I haven't done this size yet, that this will be enough, so I'm gonna do a test run. But once you start doing that, you would normally hot glue every piece as it approaches the top part. And then you would just keep wrapping. So wrap again. And then, like I said, there would be a hot glue dot normally placed there. Wrap again until you reach the end. You just sort of overlap the last piece that you had placed on the top so that it creates a more fuller textured look. Once you get close to the end, so it looks like I have actually probably too much fabric on this side, so we wouldn't need as much, but you would get to the end, you get a final wrap, and then you want it to be, or it could be coming out on the inside, and you would secure it there by placing the other hot glue. So this looks like I had over measured that side about 2 inches, but let's see where we come out here. So let's see. You would repeat the same process on the other side. Same thing. You want to make sure that you have none of the black part showing. So you would go over and under, all the way around. Remember, you would be using hot glue each time you approached the top part. I swear it'll look better once I do the hot glue, but I just want to make sure I get the accurate measurement. So I'm going to, okay, I think I have a feel for it. Okay, so here we go. We'll start the real process. I'm going to trim this piece, then I'm going to measure it and trim the other piece so that they are the exact same size for both flip-flop. And then I'm going to start the hot glue gun. That part is the messy part, I'm telling you. I'm not a pro with that at all, but it gets the job done. So, let's see, I'm sorry, bear with me. This is the downtime part that's awkward. Well, if I could ever get it undone. Okay, here we go. So, like I said, I think that the best way for me to find the right amount is to take it, place it in the middle of the toe thong part of the flip-flop, extend it all the way out, make sure both sides are even, leaving a little bit extra for the fact that you are looping it one time. So, let's see. There's that. And like I said, if you use too much, you can always trim it before securing the ends. So let's go with this. That's 12, so I'm measuring it 24, right about the same, right about 27 inches. So here we go. Let's cut us another one. All right. So, for me, I find it easier to start from the outer part of the flip-flop. I pull it, I make sure the ends, I wrap it one full time around the circle so that the whole toe is covered. You make it as tight as you can. Then you want to make sure that your ends look about the same before starting your wrapping. So, let me pull it back. This looks like a little off, so I'm going to adjust it a little bit. And I'm sure y'all will all find your tricks. Like I said, I am not Martha Stewart, so I'm just winging half of this stuff. But it's worked out. It seems to have worked out. Okay, so I'm going to start here. And what I do, besides take a swig of wine, is, I don't know if y'all can see this, but I'm going to start. Normally I put the hot glue on the fabric, except on the very beginning, because this is like anchoring the part of where you want the wrapping to start. So we take this, hold it tightly, bring it over, and then under. And hold it, and then do the same with the left side. Like I said, make sure no black is showing, which is the tricky part. Sometimes you have to really overlap it. And once you have that, then you've built your vase. And then I wrap, I do the right side first, whatever you prefer, it doesn't matter. So then I just start. So this is my piece, and you'll get these little strings of glue that come right off. But I take it, I add a dot to the glue. Then I come up and I bring it over and I push down so that it bonds to the actual flip-flop part. Then you do the same, just keep repeating that. So step after step, so here we go. It only needs like a little dot, it's nothing. It's very little glue that it needs. Back on there, and then repeating. That one I probably put too much, but we'll get that right off, no big deal. Like I said, it comes right out. I tried it originally without a hot glue gun, and I just found that it didn't take as well. So for me, I prefer the hot glue gun. There's this stuff out there that you can buy at Hobby Lobby called, I think, E600. That they also recommend it's just regular glue. But that one, I felt like you had to really apply a lot, and you had to hold it and let it dry for a while before you felt like it was secure enough, especially since it's on your feet and you use them so much. I think the hot glue works better. And like I said, y'all can modify it any way you'd like, whatever works out better for you, or if you get any suggestions, let me know. And I'm more than willing to learn. This is just something I created out of my own head of what I knew I could do, because I cannot even sew on a button, so this is major for me. Trust me, if y'all don't feel comfortable doing it, I'm more than willing to do anybody else's. I just don't want y'all to think that I'm trying to take over this or something. Okay, and I know everybody has such a busy life, so let me know, whatever you're comfortable with. I don't mind. I just wanted to make sure that everyone felt like they were being involved and included, and I think, and it's time for us moms to bomb as well. So I'm reaching the end now. So this is where you just sort of want to make sure that you try to get it as close in to the inside of the shoe. And what I've been doing now is I'll even take my whatever tool I have on hand, like my little scissor, and I will just mush it in to try to get it as tight down there, and then you can even sometimes reinforce it by taking this and pushing it, some of the end, into the little button part of the flip-flop, and that adds an extra bit of reinforcement. So this is one, the right side wrap. And like I'm all tangled in this hot glue, so I'll ignore that, but let me get that off. Once that's done, I'm gonna repeat those same steps for the left side. But as you can tell, it starts to look like that. It looks good, perfect, inside, outside, both wrap. And any hot glue that you don't want, like I'm about to remove some of this, I'm kind of particular about it. It, like I said, it pulls right off. You can clean it up at the end. Even a baby wipe works. If you have glue, unwanted glue, it pulls some of it off, just so that it doesn't stand out as much. But tweezers work if you want to really get into it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to repeat the same step for the left side. So the glue, bring it over, try to make sure you get no black showing from the underneath the portion of the flip-flop, so that looks like it's a good approach. You got it, and you're gonna, same thing, just continue to wrap. My idea was, I was thinking that we could each be responsible for our daughter's pair, of course, and then I've done 4 already, so there's not as many that we would have to divide, but maybe what do we have, 23 girls on the team? Then we could just all split that amount up after that. And And to me, that would be the easiest way. The only ones that I was thinking that I would keep is that we came into a problem. The letters, the monogram letters that we use for them, for whatever reason, they don't make P's and Z's. So Presley, Poppy, or Penelope, and Zara were all a little bit of an issue. So Elizabeth and I were trying to think what we could do, and so I'm thinking we're gonna use a pen that looks similar to this, but it's a baseball. Turn it the different direction, and we purchased stickers that resemble the letters, and we're gonna stick it on top of that and use that. But I'm gonna play with that, so I'll probably keep those three if y'all are okay with that. Just to see. If not, my only other idea was to find like a brooch with their initial, so it wouldn't be exactly the same, but we could use that. Okay. I love the mess it makes. Oh my God. I'm just not the clean. It's just so stringy, the glue. It's crazy. If anyone can come up with a concept to figure out how not to do that, I would love it, because I hate it and it ruins my nails. Okay, almost done. Here's the final product of the first one wrapped. As you can see, everything looks good, blah, blah, blah. So now we're gonna do the ribbon. I don't know, I'm sure there's better ways to do this. This is what I've been doing, so I'm just gonna roll with it. You have your first strip. This is for the bottom piece. This is a longer one. Like I said, I'm gonna send home pre-measured ones. And all I do is I take it and I'm gonna make it into a loop. So I just put a little bit of hot glue on the top part, just on just a little dot. And you're gonna take it the other side and you're going to make a circle, like a loop. You just press it really hard. Okay, so this is your first one. Like I said, remove any excess stringy glue, but this is how it looks, just a circle, okay? That's one. Now I'm gonna send, there's gonna be a smaller piece. I'll also send home pre-cut ones. This is the smaller one. Same thing, repeat the process, a little dot of glue on, I mean, you can do it however, you're just looking to make a circle. So just do a little dot right here. Take it, bring your piece up, and just glue it together, making another loop. Okay, so now you have your two loops, right? Big one goes on bottom, smaller one goes on top, and all that I do is I take it, oh my God, I hate this glue, and then I find where I seamed it with the glue, and so I hold this like this, somewhere in the center. I take the smaller one and I place it on top like that. See? So it forms somewhat of an X. So then you just put another thing of hot glue there, and this is how you're creating your little bow. Got it? I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'll do that real quick. So for me, I'll just add the hot glue to the little one. I basically do it where I put the glue to make it a circle, so I just am almost rebonding it. Just a dot. Come back over here, take it. Make sure you try to make this even. And then just place it on there, okay? And squeeze so that it creates somewhat of an X. Once you have that, what I've been doing, just in case, I take a little piece of this pre-cut. Oh my gosh, seriously. My God. Please, this glue is really on my nerves. Maybe it would help if I wore gloves or something. Okay, back to this. So, here we go. I just take a little piece of pre-cut that I'll send home, and you just wrap it. You're just gonna wrap it around to create this little bow. Okay? I needed a bigger piece. So, once you have that, you literally just put it in the center, bring it over, put some hot glue there and there, and then it should look like this. Remember, this is really not gonna show because this is where the monogram pin goes on, but this also gives you a way to scoot the pin underneath it so it has somewhere to go. So let me just hot glue this real quick. One piece, hold it down, then grab a little bit more, bring the other piece around it. And the tighter is sometimes the better because it creates more of the bow effect. Okay, so this is the bow. It doesn't have to be, I mean, it should, it does well because it goes to the side. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's the bow. Okay, now I've learned that it's easier to put the pin on the bow before gluing the bow to the flip-flop. So we're gonna do that. Like I said, this is actually supposedly supposed to be for Mia. So here comes the pin. We're almost done. I swear it'll take you less time once you start and when I'm not having to talk it through. I've been able to knock them out now, both pairs, in about 40, maybe 35 minutes. So here's the pin. It's just literally a safety button pin. You'll see it. So what I've been doing is I've been taking the actual pin and sliding it underneath this red sparkly thing that we just had. See that? And literally, you just put the pin closure on there. And then I add some glue to the ribbon and apply it to the pin. And that is how hopefully the pin should stay in place. So let's do that right now. There you go. So it should look like this. Okay? And all I say is I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna add glue to some of the bow and attach that to the pin so the pin has some more secure and not, it won't move as much. So I don't know if you can see that, but once it's on there, I repeat that same thing to the other side. And I mush it in. So now you have this, and it looks like the pin's no longer going to slide. Get rid of any excess glue, and the last thing you have left to do is you take one of those little rhinestones, which I will also provide y'all. And I don't even squeeze my gun. I literally have just been placing the gun like right on like the dot. I put a tiny dot onto the pin. Drop your little red rhinestone. So now this is your finished look, okay? And the last step will be to just literally glue this on to the flip-flop. Once that's done, you would repeat the same steps to the left flip-flop. The only difference is instead of the letter, like I said in the beginning, you would use the the megaphone in place of the letter. And I've been putting the red pin literally in the same location, like right where the handle is on the bottom. Like that. So that would be how to do the left foot. So let me glue this on and you'll see the results, okay? Here we go, last thing. So the pin seems like it's in place. I literally put the glue here on the back of the bow, remove it, and then I've been putting it pretty much at an angle to where the end of the ribbon is almost in parallel to where the beginning of the toe of the flip-flop starts. And then I press it really hard. And then I go behind it and I secure the bow a little bit more. Like I feel like this one is a little top heavy. There we go. I secure the bow a little bit more just so that we know that this stays in place. Once we do that and we remove any glue, I feel it around. Like I like to, I'm just worried that they're so rough on their shoes. So I come behind it and I like to add a little bit more glue to the bow. So I stick at least one of the glue pieces down. Like I glue one more portion of the bow, this part, to the actual part of the wrapped flip-flop, and I repeat the same thing on the other side, and that way we feel like it's pretty secure and it should stay and not go anywhere. Let's do that here, and let's pull it up and push down, and voila, there you go. So that is a final product. You repeat the steps for the left one. If y'all have any questions, let me know. I'll see y'all in a bit. All right, and thank you again, girls, for all your help and being so supportive and understanding. I'm really excited about this product. Appreciate it. Later. Bye-bye.